Welcome. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It would really help the channel to spread around and to help other people to find the videos. In the wild frontier of cryptocurrency, where fortunes can be made and lost in the blink of an eye, a fundamental question divides us all. Are you playing a short-term game, chasing fleeting pumps for a quick flip? Or are you strategically building a legacy, investing for true generational wealth in the digital age? I'm Thomas Bain, and welcome to Urban Ave Crypto. In today's video, I will be talking about Ripple's acquisition of a company called Hidden Road. I will be reading an article that was written by Reuters. But before that, let's take a look at the company's website, Hidden Road. These are some screenshots here. And no, I'm not deep diving into this. So let's take a look at the screenshots. So as you can see here, the website is Hidden Road. The company is called Hidden Road. And it says here, the Global Credit Network for Institutions. It also says technology-driven prime brokerage, clearing and financing across traditional and digital assets. The next screenshot here, we see that these are the services they offer, right? So we have, it's a prime brokerage, FX and precious metals, digital assets, exchanges, and OTCs, over the counter. That's what that stands for. Synthetics/OTC swaps, FX, equities, commodities, digital assets, energy, and rates via Route 28. I don't even know what that is. I didn't even research that. Clearing, derivatives clearing, futures and options, sponsored access, and direct market access. Under financing, we have derivatives margin financing, digital asset margin financing. Right? So these are just some of the things that they offer. Now, I don't know who they are. I never even heard of them, right? But these are the things that they offer, and this is the company's name, Hidden Road. Now, let's go through and let's read the article. My assistant is going to read the article, so let's take a listen.
Crypto firm Ripple to buy prime broker Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. By Reuters. April 8, Reuters. Ripple said on Tuesday it will buy multi-asset prime broker Hidden Road in a $1.25 billion deal, making it one of the largest acquisitions by the crypto company. This is the second billion-dollar-plus deal involving a crypto company this year, as digital assets such as Bitcoin gain more prominence under U.S. President Donald Trump, who has promised to be the crypto president. The U.S. market is effectively open for the first time due to the regulatory overhang of the former SEC coming to an end, and the market is maturing to address the needs of traditional finance, Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse said. Prime brokers help in the day-to-day operations of clearing, securities lending, leveraged trade execution, among others. Large hedge funds and institutional investors usually avail these services. Hidden Road clears $3 trillion annually across markets with over 300 institutional clients. The deal will allow the Hidden Road to expand exponentially using Ripple's balance sheet and become the largest non-bank prime broker globally, the crypto company said. Ripple will also become the only crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker due to the deal, which is expected to close in the coming months, it said. The acquisition also enhances Ripple USD's, RLUSD, utility as Hidden Road uses the stable coin as collateral across its prime brokerage products. Ripple launched RLUSD, a stable coin pegged to the US dollar, last year, as it sought to disrupt the market dominated by Tether and USD coin.
All right, guys. So, as you heard from the article being read, Ripple has acquired this prime broker, and Hidden Road clears $3 trillion annually with over 300 institutional clients. I mean, that within itself is very big, right? However, who is Hidden Road and where were they all this time? Like, who started this company? Where did this company come from? That's the question. They're going to be using Ripple's balance sheets, they said, which they're going to be using XRP because XRP is Ripple's balance sheets. Because it's a blockchain, which is a ledger, which tracks your, the way you move your money, the way the money is spent, who got it, who received it, who sent it, who received it, the time, everything, right? That's why they're going to be using them, because they're going to be moving money faster. The other thing that I would like to also point out is that people think that this is something new. Now, again, I always say this. When they give you news, just understand that it was already done already. So they're saying in the next coming months, the deal is going to be finalized. The deal is probably already finalized. They're probably just waiting for something else. Because again, they do not give information unless they know for sure that we are about to close. So the deal is probably done. But the $3 trillion is the one thing that I'm looking at. How in the world was this company hidden, no pun intended, for so long, and they're moving $3 trillion? Who are they? Where did they come from? That's the question. Now, I know that there's, YouTubers out here that's, again, they're talking above their pay grade because they really don't know. They're doing little researches here and there. I'm not digging too deep into this because these are things I really don't care about. Like, I really don't care, because I just don't. For me, these things are cool, is great, but it doesn't really do anything for me. So I'm not going to really dig too deep into the article either. Those were just, some of the things that I was thinking about, but the other thing is, the question for me is, why is the company called Hidden Road? What are they hiding? And why isn't anyone talking about this? They do not create the name of these companies for no reason. The name of these companies were created for a particular reason. They don't just create it for no reason, right? So Ripple has a private ledger. XRP, if you do not know, and if you're not aware, if you don't remember, XRP at one time was first called Open Coin. A coincidence? I don't think so. So here we have a company called Hidden Road being purchased by Ripple XRP, aka OpenCoin, right now. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I think what we just witnessed was a signal being sent out saying that the Hidden Road is now open for business. The industry is now about to take off. That's how I'm looking at it. Because none of these things are coincidences. None of them. How in the world this company Hidden Road was moving so much money and no one was talking about it or no one knew about it? And Ripple comes and acquires the company. Hidden Road and XRP was formerly known as OpenCoin. Well, OpenCoin just bought Hidden Road. Just think about it. Sounds crazy. Because again, none of these things are coincidences. None of these things are done for no reason. There was a reason why it was hidden. And if you remember in the article, they made mention about they used the word open and they used the word hidden in the article. I can't remember exactly where it was. You would have to go back. But they definitely used those two terms, those two words, which is just, crazy to me. But I'm just going to say this as a closer for the video because this video is not long. Because again, I wasn't going to dive deep or anything. I'm just going to say this. YouTubers on YouTube that's doing crypto videos, they're making videos about acquisitions and partnerships, and they're doing these videos and making it into a big deal just to justify the price points that they have been given to people through their content. I am not doing that because I understand what this stuff is and I understand what it's going to do. And I understand why it needs to be used and how it needs to be used. So I don't need to do videos to prove anything to anyone as to why my price point is what it is. However, their price points are all wrong in any case. Their price points are wrong because they're giving you $50, $100, $5, $10, $20, $25, right? When they're all wrong because they don't even understand how this stuff is supposed to be used, what it's going to actually really do. They're busy looking at charts. This stuff has nothing to do with charts. Nothing to do with charts at all. Do you understand what is it going to do for XRP, for Hidden Road to now use it as a way to send and receive money and settle payments in the derivatives market, in the securities market? It's going to do wonders for the price of the coin once they bring it from off the private ledger. Because again, they're hiding it on the private ledger so we don't see the price. That's the whole point of the private ledger, is so that we don't see the price. Because they really cannot afford to have institutional investors, retail investors, I should say. Retail investors, they can't afford to have them fucking anything up. They can't afford that. So that's why they are going to have and use the private ledger until they're ready to let it loose. Because they have to, because again, I think I said this in a video before, they're not able to utilize the XRP ledger the way they want to. So they're basically using it probably at, I would say, maybe a 30% clip, right? They're only using it 30% of the way. They cannot use the full 100% because they have it on the private ledger. The private ledger is not going to allow them to use it the way they really want to use it. That's the difference. They have to come onto the open network to be able to use it the way they want to. They cannot stay hidden. I hope you caught that. They have to come onto the public network in order for them to use it to the scale at which they want to use it. Because they're not able to scale it up the way they want to scale it up on the private ledger. The private ledger is not going to allow that. And if you understand the technology, you would understand that it's impossible for them to do. They have to come on to the public ledger, which is the open network. They cannot stay on the hidden network. And if you know anything about this stuff, you would understand that. The fact that YouTubers feel like they have to, dig deep into some of these acquisitions and these partnerships is ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. Just to justify their price points. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is Thomas Bain. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. I'm out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you tired of worrying about your precious crypto floating around in cyberspace, unprotected? Well, worry no more. Introducing the Biometric Hardware Wallet, a safe, snazzy, and oh-so-secure way to store your digital treasure. Remember, folks, not your keys, not your crypto. This little beauty puts you back in control. It's sleek, it's secure, and it uses your unique fingerprint. So even if someone steals it, they won't get far without you. Click my affiliate link below to grab yours today, and let's keep your crypto as safe as your grandma's cookie jar. Don't miss out.